Can Steven Soderbergh and screenwriter Scott C. Burns do for prescription drugs what they did for disease with Contagion? You're watching Beyond the Trailer's review of Side Effects.
You remember this beautiful lady here?
Hi.
How have things been going with you?
I can finally sleep. I have some energy. We had sex.
Whoever makes this drug is going to be rich.
911, what's your emergency?
I need help. Someone's been murdered.
There's been an incident.
What do we do?
No sign of forced entry, no sign of struggle.
Where's her lawyer?
She doesn't have one. Just kept talking about you.
In fact, the first time that Soderbergh and Burns teamed up was for The Informant, which took a unique look at corporate whistleblowers. And then they made 2011's Contagion, a more serious film that explored the world's readiness to deal with a viral outbreak. But despite top-name talent and Soderbergh's involvement, both flicks managed to just break even at the box office, and neither got any awards recognition. So this time, as Soderbergh and Burns tackle another very real horror, prescription drugs, they seem to be making a more solid genre film than their previous two efforts. See, The Informant wasn't really a comedy, and Contagion wasn't really a disaster pick, but it seems that Side Effects is indeed a thriller, or as Open Road is spinning it, Hitchcockian. The setup is that a young married woman sees a psychiatrist to try and get her life back in order, only to have things go horribly wrong when he writes her some prescriptions. But make no mistake, the dangers of prescription drugs isn't just something cooked up by Hollywood screenwriters. In fact, the industry itself has been plagued by them for years, from Judy Garland's unraveling to most recently Heath Ledger's death. People magazine, of all places, just recently ran a story about this growing epidemic, noting that this year more Americans will die of a drug overdose or from mixing drugs with alcohol than any other type of accident, including car crashes. But as Soderbergh and Burns try to make a successful thriller, will their important message get lost in the glamour? Side Effects does feature several hot actors trying to do more serious turns, including Channing Tatum and Jude. Both are Soderbergh regulars, as is Catherine Zeta-Jones, while Rooney Mara joins the team off of the American remake of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Believe it or not, Blake Lively was originally supposed to play her role. I think everyone from the filmmakers to the audience lucked out there. Side Effects is a really interesting movie, and that's because it's a mashup of an Alfred Hitchcock film and a Steven Soderbergh film. And the result is both fascinating and disorienting, because you don't expect to see these two styles encroaching on each other. So what's the divide? I would say that this film is Hitchcockian in its script, and that it's a thriller with a lot of twists and turns that are very well done, but it's very Steven Soderbergh in terms of the visual style and the casting. And so where this becomes disorienting is that you're very aware that you're watching kind of a Hitchcock film, and I think Roman Polanski kind of did a similar Hitchcock film with The Ghostwriter a few years ago with Ewan McGregor. That was more, I think, of a traditional Hitchcock film, where this is a Hitchcock theme, a Hitchcock story, with a lot of those players that you're used to seeing in a Hitchcock film, but yet not seeing them in this way. There is no Hitchcock blonde. Jude Law is the Cary Grant, Jimmy Stewart character, but in a very different way. And I think that works in that it creates, that's what gives it its modern feel, a more contemporary feel. But the great thing about comparing it to a Hitchcock film, not only that it's a thriller, but that it's a very well-written thriller. I think all of us can agree, and I've been complaining about it, I see you complaining about it in the comments, is that Hollywood just doesn't seem to care about scripts these days. So it's so refreshing to see a script that's so well-written that it could stand on its own. This script isn't just brought to life by the people who are portraying it, the director, the cast. This script could stand on its own. This is the kind of script that maybe I could, I remember, there was a time when people wanted to buy screenplays to dissect them because they were so well done. And I think this is one of those kind of screenplays. So anyone who's studying screenwriting or interested in it, you're going to want to see this film just for that. The other reason you're going to want to see the film is Jude Law. I'm really a fan of when actors are able to break the mold that Hollywood has kind of like, push them into, and I think that Jude Law has had a very big problem with that. Ever since Chris Rock called him out as the cheap Tom Cruise at the Oscars all those years ago, he's really had a hard time getting an interesting role. And Steven Soderbergh gives it to him here. He does a great job. His character keeps you guessing. His character is a fascinating, I don't want to give it away, but I think he really does a wonderful job of portraying it. And it's not just, your leading man. There are a lot of nuances there, not only in, the deeper layers, but even I think he has some great facial expressions in the film. He's visually interesting to watch. I wish I could say the same for Rooney Mara. I think she definitely pulls off her role, but I think she on the other hand, I think was putting herself into, a typecasting situation with The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I would also say, though, that Channing Tatum, bravo for trying, but I just think he's just miscast here. I didn't buy him, and this isn't going to give anything away. He plays a finance Wall Street guy who's in jail for insider trading, and I don't buy Channing Tatum in the world of finance in any way. So that was a little bit of a misstep. But, I can see why actors want to keep coming back to work with Soderbergh, because just like he's willing to play with genres, he's willing to play with them and let them, to break out, as I said. So with side effects, if you're a film fan or a Hitchcock fan or a screenwriting fan, you're going to I think, really enjoy this movie. At the very least, you're going to enjoy it. I think that you might really be impressed with it, even. But if you're someone who is just more going to movies for entertainment, you might not love Side Effects, because it starts out with a very slow burn that you have to really pay attention and be patient to be rewarded. And rewarded you are, in my opinion. But at the same time, I don't think it's as high on the entertainment value as some other people would, as some mainstream moviegoers would like. And at the same time, it's not going to deliver that Hitchcock gloss. And I think some viewers might feel it was a mistake. I didn't. But that's my thoughts on Side Effects. Really kudos to everyone. A lot of people are saying this is Soderbergh's last film before he retires. He's making Beyond the Candelabra for HBO, or he's made it, but it's coming out. I don't see him retiring at all. I think he's a filmmaker with a lot of gas left in the tank. But write your thoughts down below, what you thought of Side Effects. Don't spoil any of the surprises for anybody in the comments. And thank you for coming to Beyond the Trailer for movie news, trailers, trailer reviews, audience reviews, and also reviews for myself. And thanks to everyone who asks for them. It's appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. Bye.